Yes. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to all our listeners and followers and viewers. Welcome to another episode of Bigger Than Our Dreams, a pod series where we discuss our unlimited potential in a limiting world. I just made that up. And I am very happy today just because I'm happy. And I'm also going to be talking to two of my favorite people. So that makes me really happy. So I'm going to go ahead and kick to this gentleman's bio real quick so we could get right into it. Since it's y'all first time meeting today. So this is going to be exciting.
Yes.
Today's guest is a podcaster, musician, and educator. As the host of The Art of Letting Go, this Houston, Texas native has created a platform for people of all walks of life to share their stories of trials, tribulations, and triumphs. He does so through a mixture of conversation, guided meditation, and musical self-reflections, aka rapping. Give it up for Mike Brown.
Yes.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yes.
Welcome.
Yes.
I charge for those bios.
That sounded very professional. I was like, damn, who's he talking about?
It you. It you.
I'm cracking up.
How you feeling today?
I'm feeling good. I woke up a little tired, but by the time it was time to do this, I was ready. So I feel good. How y'all doing today?
Feeling good. I'm feeling good. I've been in a good space this week. It's been very bright and optimistic, which is good.
Okay.
That's what's up.
Yes.
Do you feel like the new year is like a restart?
So for me, like my personal New Year is my birthday, but it does feel like a new energy when January starts though. Like I feel it energetically,
Yeah.
But personally, I usually start my new year like on my birthday.
Same. And I feel the exact same way. Like January is kind of just like another checkpoint to all right, let's bring this in. Let's start with some new energy. So y'all like that.
Yes. Yes.
I'm jealous. I need to get better at starting my year on my birthday. I usually work through my birthdays the last couple of years. Like this last year I released an album on my birthday. So I'm like, maybe I won't do that again. Which actually
That sounds stressful.
It was very stressful. It was very stressful. It was very stressful.
I released a single on my birthday, but that was just one song. Just threw the shit out there. But
right, and kind of celebratory.
Yeah, like that I would do, but like a whole album, nah.
And you know how I do my rollouts now, so it was very intense. First day release, like it was a lot going on.
Yes.
Whatever, you live and you learn.
Yes.
So again, I'm excited to have you both on here because you guys are like my favorite people in the world. You're both Libras and awesome. And
Libra gang.
Come on,
right.
Libra gang. And obviously we have a single coming out. It'll probably be out by the time this drops. January 16th. Damn Disconnected Part Duh. Part 2. Part Ni. That's Japanese for 2, I think. But yeah, anyway, let's get right into it because you're both music nerds and I need to just hear you guys go at it. We have an icebreaker. Amir, lead us in prayer.
All right. So Mike, if you could have any Pharrell song, anything that he's performed or produced, if you could be on it, like what would it be? Which song would that be?
So a song that I would love to be on is Swagger International. And I like that song because he just was talking so much shit. He was talking about chains. What did he say? 400 years later and we still in chains. What was the other line he had in there? My mind is like a diamond producing colors like a prism without knowledge or understanding how the fuck you reach wisdom. And I like when Pharrell talks shit. That's probably the one I would like to be on. But if it was just a song that I could be a part of, it's this song he has called Smile. And it was and it's so beautiful. It's such a beautiful song. It's so many Pharrell songs. Like as I'm saying, I'm like Rocket Theme. I'm thinking about all these songs, but Swagger International probably speaks to me the most.
Okay.
Yes. And we didn't even set the question up right. Like, I mean, we set it up right, but we didn't preface it the fact that, like, as you can see in Mike Brown's background, the NERD painting, he is a Pharrell enthusiast, scholar if you will, and was present with me in Miami the week that I actually got to work with Brother Pharrell, which is also the same week that Amir sent me Curious with the Pharrell samples. So I feel like he has presided over us. In the tail end of 2022 and coming into this year. Amir, what would be your Pharrell record that you would jump on?
All right. I more so want to hop on the Pharrell beat, and the two that I have in mind is the Ass on Fire record with Busta.
Okay.
Because that beat is insane, and like I would totally rip that the fuck up. And then Super Thug, the Nori record. Yes.
Throwbacks.
Yes.
Classics.
Yes. Classics.
Are we rapping on these? Are we singing on these?
I'm rapping on both of them.
Ooh, if I'm gonna rap on one, I'm gonna go Neon Guts. Like really.
Oh, that's a good one. Guts. That's a good one.
Okay.
That's a good one. We like cuts.
That. If I was to do any Pharrell record, well, I did a freestyle over the tail end of that Khalees song. What was it called? What's it called again?
I'm going blank on the name, but it was that
rain, yeah.
Rain, go away.
That's my shit. Is it Star? What the fuck is it called? And I gotta look it up. But I freestyled over that, so I would actually, if I had to pick a Pharrell record right now to be on, I would actually just perform that because I love it so much. Shooting Stars.
Oh, I know that song. Okay.
Yeah. So like the tail end of that I love. And then I would get into some deep cuts. Not deep cuts, but unreleased shit. Like I would have loved to have been on the version of Sweet Lies that had both Usher and Justin Timberlake. Like it was meant. And be able to just like give me one or two harmonies under there, and then I could do a verse at the end. That would have been
see that.
Man, I've thought about looping up some of those songs because it's enough of the beat on some of them songs, like Sweet Lies, where you could just loop that shit up and just run it. Same with Spanish Lesson. I remember when I heard the song that y'all did, and I had went back and listened to Spanish Lesson. I was like, oh, if you loop that motherfucker up.
Drums are crazy. Especially the end of it. That shit. It's not a great song, but the production is insane.
It is.
I love Madonna too. It's not a great song, but that beat is wild.
Pharrell cut up on that album. And you know what's funny? Like, and I know I'm very Pharrell biased, but anytime I've heard Pharrell produce the majority of an album with another producer, I always feel like he outshined him. Like on that Madonna, like Timbaland had some shit, but Pharrell had that shit.
I agree with you. I agree with you.
Same with the Pusha T album. Like him and Kanye, that nigga washed Kanye. And I love Ye beats. You know, you got to be specific with that nigga.
Not his ideologies. What do you guys think about? What do you think about Madonna getting to put out back that up to the beat record? Because that was an unreleased from Hard Candy, right?
Yep.
Was it Hard Candy?
Yep. No, Rebel.
Okay. That's really cool. Do you think there's going to be a trend of more artists releasing leaked songs officially that have kind of lived in the nanosphere?
I know she is because because she just signed a publishing deal with Warner. I think all year, I think it's like an anniversary for her this year. So all year she's putting out unreleased tracks from different eras. So
I like that.
I'm looking forward to seeing what else comes out because there were a few other joints from Rebel Heart that they did that didn't come out that were really good. Take a Day is my shit.
One of y'all was telling me that P had the entire album initially. Was it you, Mike? He had a good chunk of it. Yeah, like he had maybe like 8 tracks on it, and then it felt like they scrapped him off of almost the whole album. I think
he's not on Rebel Heart.
Yeah, but he had like 8 of them on there.
They repackaged one of them for Madam X. I forget. Was it? I forget which song it was. But they repackaged something for Madam X that was from Rebel Heart. And they kind of switched it up quite a bit. I forget the name of the song, but it's good though.
Yeah,
Rebel Heart got done dirty because like the mixing was so ass, and there was good songs on there.
That was the one with Bitch I'm Madonna.
Yeah, that's a bad song.
Yeah. I love it though.
You like it?
It's my shit.
Unhinged.
I love
Unhinged.
It's the most hot mess ironic song. Like it's just the video's fun.
The runs on Ghost Town are so fake. Everything's bound to break.
I forgot about that song. I forgot that happened. Fake. I forgot that happened.
And you work at a body shop.
That was a good song.
And you work at a body shop. That's my shit. Oh, what a mess.
Yes.
What a fucking mess.
I love that record.
I love this for us. I wonder, like in that same trend of like somebody like Pharrell who has so many records that have leaked, if he would take a year and just because he could go in for like a year of just unreleased shit. Just go
Pharrell
off.
got so much shit. Pharrell got so
Man.
much shit. I remember there was supposed to be a track that he did for Janet, and it was essentially the Super Thug record, but she's singing on it. It's called Rough.
Wow.
You can find it on YouTube. But that shit would have been. I heard it. It's lit. I wish it would have came out and they finished it, but it sounded dope.
I feel like the Jacksons did Pharrell dirty. They didn't believe in him until everybody else did.
Everybody else got the leftovers. Brittany got all of Janet's leftovers, and Justin got,
Were they leftovers if they didn't take them?
What the fuck? Wait, hold on. Wait. Why is that playing? Hold on. Why did that just start playing randomly? I didn't press any.
Who was that?
At least it was our song.
Yes.
Oh God, that was so unhinged. Why did that just?
Wow. While we're here in unhinged territory, shout out to Mike Brown for wearing a merch shirt and a merch mug. The shameless promotion. The shameless promotion. I have on a Yanni blue sweater.
Wear your shit.
Let's sell it. We selling ass. We selling ass out here. Everything's for sale. Mike Brown, where can the people purchase your mug?
The Art of Letting Go podcast.com.
Yes.
I appreciate that.
Yes. Shameless promotion.
Yes. You should wear your shit. Absolutely.
Thank you.
You should wear your shit. You should absolutely wear your shit. Mom, you're in the background. Please.
Yes. Legend.
Hey, mama.
Legend.
So unhinged.
Moms are legends.
Shit.
We should do so Mike just did an episode where he interviewed his parents. He's so embarrassed right now.
How was that? How was that? I saw you interview your parents. That was pretty dope. How did that go?
It was dope. So I've interviewed them individually, but this one, so have you heard of the game We're Not Really Strangers?
No.
So there's this card game that it's like they give you these open-ended questions, like reflection questions to ask or answer with another person. So I let them play the game. And it was cool because initially they were a little uncomfortable, like being vulnerable, I guess. And then as the game progressed, they started just becoming more and more vulnerable. And it was really dope to see. And I think because I've seen so much of my parents' relationship, like I've seen those negative parts of it that almost made me not even want to be. I remember when I was younger, I didn't even want to get married or be in a relationship or nothing just because it was so dark. But to see them, be so loving now is just like, man, like when you do the work, like is something on the other side of that. So it was beautiful to see. Like it kind of got me a little emotional, some parts, just hearing them answer questions about how they've made each other see each other better and what they've learned from each other. So it was cool.
That's beautiful. And that is exclusive for your Patreon listeners, right? So people got to sign up for that.
For now, yeah. I'll probably release it maybe in like 2-3 months, but you got to pay for. Well, they said you got to pay for it, so people got to pay for it.
Look, parents is dropping the gems. We gotta make sure we run it up. I want to do an episode one day, Amir. We should interview our moms together. That'll be fun.
That would be a good Mother's Day episode if y'all had your mamas on.
That would be nice.
Our mamas are stars. they be all in the videos, all on the song, like Diddy.
And then they gonna start their own podcast.
It was really dope too to see your mom on set too when we were doing our promo shots. Like that was really dope. Yeah.
That felt really good. I've never had family present outside of like shows I did in my early 20s. I've never had family present for things that I've done. So to have my cousin shooting, to have my mom there and behaving, it was great.
He was so well behaved. My mom would not have been as you see.
She's a star. She just needs to be seen. She just wants to be seen. What's your mom's name?
My mom, Jeanette.
Mama Jeanette is a queen.
Yes,
in the background, just giving. She's just back there fucking it up.
Do not encourage her. She will walk away. Do not encourage her, please.
All right, let's get into this mess. This is a great morning. This is a great. I love you guys. This is wonderful. All right, Damn Disconnected drops January 16th.
Yes.
Amir, you produced the song. So before we even go into it, so the record, the pathway of the record was Amir produced and rapped on basically what was an interlude. Sent it to me in a pack of production. I shared that pack of production with Mike Brown because we were starting to co-write over the summer, and he sent me back an idea to Damn Disconnected, which inspired my idea, which then inspired him to finish his verse, which then inspired us to finish the song. And now it's out in the world. So take us back to day one, production, inspiration, because there's a lot of deep dives in here. You are a music nerd. I didn't realize how many layers there were to this record.
Yeah.
You have the floor. Go.
Okay, well, here we go. Well, we all know what the song is about. So definitely was the experience that, you know, I wish I didn't have to live it to write it, but I definitely channeled that inspiration to really do something that I could kind of like pour myself into a bit. And it kind of just started off as an interlude, and I was really inspired by the Velvet Rope, the song Janet Jackson has called Empty. And there's like an interlude that comes in right at the end of it. She said, "Damn, disconnected." And I think the song was recorded back in '96, so it was very early AOL chat room. You could even hear the dial-up signal in the Sonics, you know. And it was about early online dating and how, you know, dealing with someone who's emotionally unavailable and how that could really feel empty. And she had said this lyric, "How empty of me to be so full of you." And that shit just is always stuck with me. And so that was the inspiration behind like the way I kind of set up the record, why I titled the record. And then production wise as well, really inspired by Missy's Beat Me 911. So I kind of wanted to have that throwback Timbaland Missy feel to the record too. And I kind of threw some lo-fi influences in the mix, so I kind of just threw that all in the pot and mix it together. And it was initially intended to just be an interlude, and I didn't know if I was gonna ever put it out or do anything with it, so it just kind of just sat in a folder for a year and change
until we got it.
So y'all put your hands on it. Yes.
Were you also channeling Missy on your performance, because the performance gave Missy?
Absolutely. I was definitely really tapping into it. Even the way I pitched the vocals too, and even the way I was rapping it, I was really deep into my Missy bag. That first album, I was really deep up in that. Very deep. Very deep.
Yes. It's funny because through you, I've been revisiting a lot of albums that I've tried and didn't really connect with, and The Velvet Rope is one of them. So I think you and I were having, because you and I had like 2 or 3 meetings yesterday, and I told you that I was in the middle of listening to Velvet Rope, and I was like, what song did I stop on? And I went and looked, and it was Empty. But I literally had not finished the record. Like my Spotify, the little bar was right in the middle. After our meeting, I go and play it while I'm doing work, and I hear this bitch go, "Damn, disconnected." I said, this motherfucker's a genius. What the hell? I said, am I bugging? Did I hear that? I had no idea. Like, I knew the story behind the song, and I knew the Missy reference. I did not know the title came from Velvet Rope. So
it did.
It was really cool to just.
It just randomly caught you. It was like, oh wow, that's where that came from.
I was like, Amir is who he is. Like when he said the Velvet Rope is his album,
that's my
telling
album.
the truth.
That album has saved my life so many times.
I'm gonna have to revisit that. My mama took us to, because my mama was a diehard Janet Jackson fan. We went to the Velvet Rope tour in Houston.
Wow.
New Year's Eve. It was New Year's Eve because I remember
97, 98.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I remember like I wasn't really on Janet Jackson's music, but the show was just so wild.
Epic.
Like it was,
epic. Yo, that tour was everything. And that album, it was a grower because it didn't.
Not a shower.
Yes, it was a grower. It wasn't as well received in the beginning as the previous album, which was Janet, because like she was going into some deep shit. The album's about sexual exploration, depression. It's probably one of her most personal raw records, and it's very experimental. So I think it took a minute for people to kind of sit with it, because the first single was "Got Till It's Gone." So when you go from
That's my
having,
shit.
me too, when you go from having If to be your first single, then you have like a mid-tempo like Got Till It's Gone, people are like, okay, what is this? You know, the album didn't pick up until Together Again. But what I really love about Janet is like, she could talk about sad shit, but then make it feel hopeful. Because like when you listen to the lyrics of Together Again, it's a sad song. It's her. She's writing about a lot of her friends who passed during the AIDS crisis. Like it's a sad record, you know, but there's hope to it, you know. And I think that's what I really got from that project, because it is really healing from the beginning to the end of the album. Like even the way it's sequenced, it's like a journey, you know, to addressing the need to feel special, addressing like depression, addressing to I'm a part of the problem, and then going when you get to the middle of the record gets a bit sexy, and then it gets a bit more moody again, you know. So it's a really dope record. It definitely helped me out a lot when I came out, and it was so interesting because I came out 10 years after that album came out. Because the album came out, I was 10 years old, you know, 97. Wow. I came out when I was like 21. So the album had a new meaning for me as a 20-year-old listening to it versus hearing it on what you call it, Planet Groove on BET. You see the I Get So Lonely video and shit. And it's like, oh, it's dope. But like when you actually get to realize what these songs actually mean, you become an adult, it's like a whole new listening experience to those records, you know?
Yes. I love that.
I'm gonna have to revisit that.
Please do.
That. Yeah.
Please do. Yeah.
When you was talking about Missy and Yanni, you were talking about revisiting albums. You got to revisit them first two Missy albums.
I was telling him yesterday.
I'm telling y'all, conversations overlap so much for me that sometimes I don't know who tells me what, because I talk to you both all day. But Amir literally just said that yesterday. He broke down like, no, these two albums you need to listen to, because we want to do a deep dive section of the pod, like where we actually go into these albums.
The
Missy's
Real World,
first album. Oh my god.
The Real World. Okay, like the whole album, the production, every fucking thing.
That song with Juvenile and BG.
Woo! What's it? Ain't no nothing you can't say. That shit was lit. Even the record with Lady Saw on it is pretty hot too. Smooth Chick. That's my shit with those horns. That actually inspired Can't Compete a little bit too. Smooth Chick.
We talked about that yesterday too.
Yeah.
That's synergy.
That's dope.
Yeah.
I don't know what this move is, but it feels like synergy.
There were a few Missy records that inspired Can't Compete. There were a few.
Yes.
Yeah.
Missy is one of our guiding lights, one of our divine influences. So shout out to Missy Elliott. I think we shout her out every pod.
I used to include her in my top 5 favorite rappers.
Okay. She's special.
She's still in my top 10. She's in there.
Top 10. You bumped her down a little bit.
I think because I think now I see her more than just a rapper. Like she was just a all around just artist. And actually, damn, yeah, I saw Missy live a few years ago. That's crazy. Really dope. She got so many fucking songs. And then what's crazy is fucking Janet Jackson was there at the fucking show watching.
I was about to say, wasn't Janet there? I remember that. I wasn't there, but I remember hearing that Janet was present.
Yeah.
Wow. That was the same one where Frank Ocean came out and stuff, right?
Yep.
That was a bad bitch show, Mike Brown. Shout out to you for being present for that greatness.
Yes.
Okay, looping us back around, Mike. You got the floor. Tell me about why you, out of that illustrious folder that I sent you of Brother Amir's, what about Damn Disconnected? Because you wrote to Damn and you wrote to Submerged, which we're still working on, but why Damn Disconnected?
I don't know, something about it just stood out to me. Maybe it was like the phone and hearing the phone call. And actually, I'll tell you what it was. At around that time, and actually before you sent me that folder, it was this dude that I knew that was making music, and he was trying to get at me, but also on some like, I want to work with you on some music. And I remember this nigga would always call me, and I wrote in my phone, I was like, I'm not sure at all why you calling me. And then when I heard that the beat with the phone in it and shit, it kind of led me to start writing that. And I guess that's how it happened. I'm gonna be honest with you. I really don't remember clearly, but I know that beat stood out to me.
That's dope. And this is for all the people getting to know you through our pod. This is going to be your first release as a rapper in a couple of years, right? Or tell us about your music journey.
Oh man.
Not the whole journey, but like just this being like your first release in a while. I know you rap on every pod, which I've done a freestyle on
Yeah.
your pod.
Yeah. I hadn't put out music since 2018. You know, music is one of them things. It's always been a space for me to communicate and express myself. And when it started to feel like work or just like I was having to cater that to other people as opposed to myself, it wasn't fun. So I took a break from it. And yeah, I've never been able to escape it though. You know, it's definitely been points in my life where I've been like, I don't want to fuck with this shit. And something always just pulls me back. And I've finally just given in to the spirit of it and just allow myself to just do it. You know, like I said, I've tried, especially with production. Because I've been making beats since like 2009. And I've always been like, I don't want to do this shit no more. I'm not feeling it. It's not speaking to me. And then something will come up. Like, you know, my homeboy hit me up about a gig with Carnegie Hall, or something else comes up. And it's like, what the fuck? Like, why can I not escape this shit? And I feel like there is something in me that has to be done in order for me to not do this no more, if that makes sense. So
like you feel like you still have something to accomplish.
And not even, yeah, maybe it is something I have to accomplish, but it's almost like something beyond what I think it is. Like I don't even know what it is, to be honest with you, but it's something that like the spirit won't let me let it go. So but yeah, I started again rapping on the podcast, and really when we reconnected, I started getting back into like really like getting into rapping on beats and shit, because you sent me Amir's folder, you sent me another folder, and I was like, oh, this is fun. I don't know if I can say that on here, but you sent me the beat that you were working on with the Pharrell song from Marley.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Oh shit, like this is exciting. But yeah, I don't know if I answered your question. I kind of just
you did
drifted off.
It's a journey though, and I think it's important because that's a major building block of this pod, is like letting people know that like this shit ain't linear, and being bigger than your dreams is just reminding yourself like it's your fucking dream. You attack it how the hell you want. So reconnecting with you over the summer, we did a lot of. I feel like a lot of our collaboration has been more of like workshop in a way. It's almost been like healing art. Like, you know, we'll loop up a beat, we'll freestyle, and then we just leave it alone, and it doesn't have a lot of the pressure of like, I gotta put this out, but it makes me want to put the stuff out even more, because when I listen back, I'm like, oh, this shit is raw. It connects to a feeling.
You know, I've always rapped just as long as I've been producing. I've been rapping, and probably been rapping longer than I've been producing. But I was always scared to put myself out there, because being a queer rapper, like, I mean, all the niggas I listen to were these really hard rappers, and it's like, I like that. I feel like I could do that, but I don't want to be out there as this gay rapper or this queer rapper and afraid that somebody's gonna call me out for it. Like, you know, that fear was so strong in me that I think it really held me back from just my full potential. So, and you know what? I'll tell you what drew me to Disconnect It. I remember you told me, I mean, damn, Disconnected. You told me that you want to start doing more queer music, like talking about it more in your music. And I had never done it before. So when I heard the beat, it was like, let's just see. And actually I wrote it for you, because I was trying to write a verse for you, and you were like,
for Amir to rap, yeah.
Yeah.
For me. One of us. I know, yeah.
One of y'all. Yeah. I know I didn't write it for myself at all. And
I think I remember you telling me that.
Yeah. Now it's coming back to me. I didn't write it for myself. And when you heard it, because I think I sent you like the verse, like maybe just recorded on my phone, and he was like, you got to rap it. And I was like, fuck. And I'm not gonna lie, it had sparked a little fear in me, like just because I had never talked about men on a song, and you know, whether it was my real life or not, you know, parts of it were real, parts of it were, you know, embellished, but it was just like, damn, I'm really on a song talking about men, and it was liberating. Like, it was very liberating. So I appreciate y'all for allowing me to even be a part of that.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
You know
Yes.
what I love is you both have expressed not so much hesitation, but just real divisive feelings that the song made you feel like you just being, realizing like, damn, I'm doing this, I'm rapping on this. Amir in his, just experience with creating the record. And for a while, I had a different reaction to the song. I think I was so excited about it for so long and I didn't understand why until hearing you guys just now. I think my excitement did come from the authenticity. Like I was just excited that I created an authentic representation of something I'd been through. Like really something that only I can say. Like my verse is only my verse. And being a songwriter, I have to write everything from the perspective of like anybody can sing this. So I think with Damn Disconnected, I just felt so it was just like, oh, this is if I had to tell this story, this is my verse. And I think that's why I was so excited about it. And it's so funny you talking about, writing the verse for me, because now I'm remembering how far back we started this record. I still hadn't even fully gotten to know Amir. I didn't know how fucking ridiculous of a rapper he was. And I'm thinking he's just gonna want to stay on the like I didn't even have the concept of like, oh, he'll write a whole verse or like it was such an early time period. And I was so excited just to be around queer creatives and making something that not so much negative, but even if it's rooted in bad experiences, felt authentic. And I think that was my excitement for a while. And I'm still excited about it. I'm really proud of it. I love it sonically. And like you said, Mike, some parts of my verse were real, some parts were embellished, but I know that story resonates with people. I know that we've all dealt with that.
Absolutely.
So and I'm gonna be honest, even when y'all were working on it in New York, there still was some internal pushback for me because I remember you telling me to record the verse and send it. And it took me a while to like just have the energy to record it and send it because it was just like, all right, so if I do this, I'm doing this. And I was like, fuck, all right. And then when y'all sent it back, it was like, oh my gosh, like this is real. And I was excited about it once I heard it, but having to record it and send it, it was just like, man, I don't know if I'm ready for this, but fuck it, we did it.
Look, and it's cool because to a certain degree, the song, well, to a very big degree, the song is very intimate. So for us to have created it, barely all knowing each other and being so raw, and then for y'all just trusting each other to see it through to the end and letting me push it out into the world against your wills. I think there's healing on the other end of that, right? Like, there's a freedom, there's a liberation, and I hope if people get nothing else from this record, they're able to let off some energy too, and just be like, okay, that's something I went through. It sucked, but I'm not alone. And a dope song came out of it. Because it's fucking Bob.
I think that's the takeaway from this.
Absolutely. Yeah. And it's very unique. Like I said, I'm almost too gay for the straights, too straight for the gays. Because on one end I'm feeling like fuck, the rappers are gonna judge me for this, but then on the other end I'm like, it's not gay enough. I'm not talking about sex enough. I'm not doing this. It's like, fuck it. Like just fucking do it and just be yourself, and whatever comes out of that shit comes out of that shit.
That's a good space to be in. I had to get to that space as well too, because I also too grew up on all of the super masculine records. I love that shit. And I do have some records that have that feel to it that will be coming out. I rap on drill beats. You know what I mean? Like, so for me, like, it's just really me being in tune with both my feminine and masculine energies and realizing they both can exist within the same space. And my existence as a rapper already defies a bunch of rules and expectations. So it's like, why should I try to push myself into any box? So I'm in a space of fuck all the rules. I can do a drill beat and then do a track like rap on a track like Dope Boy Flesh, and then rap on a Super Thug type of record. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I'm bringing a mirror to all those spaces because all those things are me. I like to be soft. I like to be hard too. You know what I mean? So it's like I'm a mix of both.
Yes.
Yeah.
That actually brings me to our first for the group question. Because Damn Disconnected is about dealing with DL or straight passing men or men that are in the closet, and we just talked about just that perspective of what it means to be a male rapper. Why do we think, especially in Black queer community, straight passing or DL men are so heavily revered? Like, what? I know we know why, but like really getting into the nuance of why does it have such a hold on us?
Um, I think we all like romanticize masculinity. You know, even myself as a masculine man, or masculine, I'm gonna put that in air quotes because my nails are painted. So
Cute. Come
but
on, cute. Those nails are cute too. I love that
I
color.
appreciate that. I appreciate
Yes.
that. And you know, these are the ways that I tap into my feminine, because people, you know, and I guess I'll give you my experience, because there was a time when I wasn't out. So I was masculine presenting, and it felt safer for me at that time to be with other masculine men, because if I'm with a feminine man, somebody might assume that I'm gay. You know, somebody might associate me with being gay. And then when I came out, you know, you still on the transition of figuring yourself out. So it's still like, oh, I still want this masculine man. Masculinity is attractive. I don't want no feminine man. I don't want this. I don't want that. And then you get to a point where you realize it's bullshit. You know, like none of that shit is really real. But I think the masculinity is so glamorized because, yeah, we want to be with, you know, we are men. We want to be with men. So I think that's probably the mindset for a lot of people. But then, like I said, when you start uncovering yourself, you start recognizing like people are just fucking people, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I think there's a survival component too. Like I remember just being a kid growing up in New York and needing to be masculine presenting just to feel safe. And unpacking that as I got older was huge for me. And then of course, like you said, there's the desirability component where it's like we perceive men that are more masculine to be more attractive. So uncovering a lot of that. And I think it's about I think we just lack the examples, truthfully, like the media, everything, like even some of the last great, and I say great as in like just critical acclaim or popularity, queer films or projects like Moonlight, they highlight hyper masculinity. The nigga had a grill and no shirt and was ripped up, and like all the apps that we frequent and all the sites that we frequent. So I think it is super important to like really understand that it's a representation thing. Like we need to see more Mike Brown's blue nails. We need to see
I
more
appreciate
gunmetal mesh on Amir's. I look very regular today, but I swear there's a tube top under this.
But you know what? I think also, if you think about, I'm sure all of us, like our first crushes were some straight man. You know what I mean? So when you come out, obviously you gonna want what you were attracted to at some point in your life. You know what I mean? Because a lot of us weren't able to act on those attractions being young. Like I didn't come out till I was 26. So, you know, a lot of my shit was done in hiding, or even my attractions as a young child. Like I'm looking at guys and shit, or I'm watching wrestling or whatever the fuck I'm watching, football or whatever the fuck. And those are the people that I'm attracted to. So once I'm in this state where I can act on these attractions, yeah, I'm gonna go for what looks like that.
Did you realize? I know I felt this happen. Maybe you guys did too. Once I became out, because I didn't have like a coming out moment. It's just like a gradual throughout my 20s, just sort of becoming more free. But as I became more comfortable with myself, the type of men that I was attracted to changed because I no longer had that stigma that I needed to be hyper masculine. So I no longer craved it from other people. Did that happen for you guys?
Yeah, I would say so. For me, I think the more and more and more I got to become more in tune with my own identity, and the more and more I got to really start to, even in doing the work of the Everyman Project and really dissecting like gender norms and the things that were pressured into it, it really made me look at my own dating experience in a different way. And it really kind of opened up, type of men that I'm attracted to versus before, where, I had some of those same experiences where I was attracted to a certain type, a more masculine type, and I think in really dismantling a lot of those structures that have been forced upon us, and even me, and becoming more free in my own gender expression, I started to see things a lot differently.
Yeah. Yeah, that for sure. I think again, it's about creating the examples for ourselves, because if you don't see it, it literally doesn't exist. So just allowing yourself to appreciate different types of men, allowing yourself to be a different type of man, I remember one of the coolest things when I reconnected with Mike, he was just taking ballroom classes, right? He had just started. And you said you were talking about the whole purpose was to be connected to like more of your feminine side. And I hadn't heard somebody actively trying to do that. Like I've met men that are, you know, masc femme or in between, and I've already met people existing in that space. I never met somebody actively trying to connect. And I was like, wow, like I've never thought about that. I've never thought about trying to connect with my feminine. And Amir is always giving me these incredible card readings. And the last few have been telling my ass, like, get in touch with your divine feminine. And I'm like,
it's important.
It's
important. Yeah. Like for me, like my first experience, like really tapping deep into it was when I got like stiletto nails for the first time. And I've always wanted to do it. I'm like, what are people gonna say? What are people gonna do? And like what's gonna be the reaction? You know, and then growing up, you know, I spoke about this on previous episodes. Like my father is a fucking basketball coach. So like I grew up with the perfect example of toxic masculinity within my household, which I'm still unpacking all of that trauma to this day. But just having those thoughts playing in the back of my head, you know what I mean? Because like, you know, my dad, he's in a nursing home now. So I'm like, if I go visit this nigga, he's gonna see these nails. What the fuck is he gonna say? But like, I got to a point where I was like, yo, fuck it. I'm gonna get my fucking stiletto nails. I'm living my life for me. I'm gonna do what the fuck I want to do. This is my expression. This is who I am, and I'm fucking owning it. And once you get into that space of freedom, it feels so fucking good. And it's like nothing else fucking matters. You know what I mean? Because you're doing it for you. You know, and I think as men, we could really afford to just kind of let a lot of shit go and just be more free. You know, I feel like as Black men, we were never encouraged to like to explore those things. You know what I mean? So it's very layered and nuanced, very, very layered.
You know, I feel blessed to have straight men in my life that do encourage that for me. I've always, so you know, they and not to get too deep, but they say your left side is your feminine, your right side is your masculine. And I kept getting injured. Like I play basketball, but I always get injured on my left side. And one of my best friends told me, he was like, man, maybe you need to nurture your feminine side more, because that's what your left side is. And I've always just had people encourage me to just do and be more of myself, lean more into it. And probably the first time I really felt my feminine energy was dyeing my hair blonde. And that inner bad bitch just stepped out and never left, never left. And now I find different ways to feel it, like I find what makes me feel good. Like you said, I was doing ballroom for a while, painting my nails, doing ballet, just trying to find ways to feel different things. And kind of going back to what you were saying about dating, I don't think that I really gave up that I need this masculine this masculine that, till I started really getting to know myself. You know what I mean? Like when I first came out, I was still in that mindset of, I'm only a top, I'm only this, I'm only that, I only want that. And then when you start to get to know yourself more, and you start seeing people for people and not what they are, what's this label, none of that, like I said again, none of that shit matters. And I feel very much so tapped into energy now. So it's like, if you feel like a good person, I don't give a fuck what you are, what you do. That's the biggest thing for me. Like, as long as you're a good person, we could work.
Come on. And just to be a shameless plug moment, because we're talking about transitioning into Black queer joy, Dope Boy Flesh is also out everywhere now.
It is out.
That is a fun ass, liberating ass record.
It's so fun. I was playing it. I was playing the playlist of our shit. That's probably why that shit came blaring on earlier.
Okay.
So,
okay.
Yeah, I was listening to it before we hopped on.
It is the perfect opposite side to Damn Disconnected, because while Damn Disconnected is talking about, acknowledging toxicity and letting something go, I think Dope Boy Flesh is welcoming free Black queer love and joy and bad bitchery. And I just want to see niggas in do-rags and Timbs voguing and waltzing to it.
Just silk.
Right.
Silk.
Right. Just bad niggery.
Satin. Yes.
Gunmetal mesh under the wife beater. I did want to ask you guys. I know, we're connected to various different communities. We're all men in our 30s. How much of our plight dealing with like just being in the closet or dealing with masculinity and stuff do you think is limited to us? Do you think the generation below us has it easier? Do you see them being more free? Or do you think that we still are repeating the same traumas?
I think the new generation, I think they have way more tools than we did.
Yeah.
They have way more tools than we did. Way more examples. They have way more access than we did. Because me coming up, the only queer representation on TV was fucking Queer as Folk, which was white. And
Noah's Ark.
Noah's Ark.
Noah's Ark was reinforcing a lot of that shit too. A lot of that DL. I mean, that was literally their whole main plot line was like the main nigga was DL. You didn't know if he was gay, and that was hot. It's hot.
That was literally it, So I think now there's a lot more. The kids have a lot more access now than we did, and I love that for them. I love that.
Yeah,
I agree with that. I definitely do believe that there are a lot more tools out there for them, and I think because they are able to explore a lot earlier, that their awareness to shit is a lot higher than ours. But I also believe that there are still people that, are in their journeys kind of just on the same cycle of shit that we might have experienced, especially like, I think it depends on where you at, because I talk to a lot of people from where I'm from in the South and shit. And it's still a lot of niggas like still in the closet, still, can't be their full selves and shit. And, I've told this to Yanni before, but my podcast draws a lot of like bi men, a lot of like not out men, and it's something that, and I guess my freedom of expression is what they're drawn to. So I think it is a lot of people out there that still struggle. But when you talk about the youth, I think the youth, I think they're gonna be all right. And I think it's up to people like us to share that knowledge with them. In my experience, when I first came out, and granted, I was young, but I wasn't really young. I was 26. Rather than people sharing knowledge and information with me, they were just trying to fuck me. You know what I'm saying? Okay. So now me being on the other end of being 35, well, shit, I'm 36 now. Being 36 and running into these people that are 25, 24, 23, it's like, let me share some information with you. Like you may be tapped into trying to get at me, but I'm trying to show you like, hey, you got some life to figure out before you just try to just jump into anything. You know what I mean? Like find some self-value, find some self-worth, and then go, meet or do whatever you want to do, because you could definitely put yourself in some situations that make you feel undervalued,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And then it becomes your norm because that's the norm of the community, and it doesn't have to be.
Yeah. It's funny. So one of the questions on our prompt, I had asked you guys, you talking about being an example. I had asked you guys to come up with like positive examples, if there were any, of Black free queer love in the media. And I know we all kind of struggled to figure that out. So it's important for us to be an example, because like it was tough to do this whole thing and try to bring it back to a positive place of like, all right, we've been through this type of shit. How have we healed? How can we help the next generation? What is out there for us? What are the resources? And we all were just like, we had the loading sign over our foreheads. Have you guys found any in the time since I sent you the brief, any examples of Black queer positive love in the media? Because I haven't.
You go ahead.
You go ahead.
There's the example. Black queer positivity, politeness.
No, you got it, Amir. Go ahead.
Oh gosh. There's not a lot of examples, and that's real. We could be candid and honest about that. There's not a lot of good examples. But who I will give credit to is to the Native Son platform and Emil Wilbekin, because they're always showing these beautiful Black queer couples, and it makes me feel hopeful. And there's like a lot of really dope quotes that he'll post and things he'll share about relationships. So I think that's a good place for resources. And maybe you can go and follow some of those couples and perhaps, but yeah, there ain't a lot of shit out here, and that's just real.
and as you say that, that made me think of this other page. I think it's Black Gay Weddings. I would use that as an example, but to be honest, I like before Amir said that, I couldn't think of any, and I could think of people that I personally know, but I don't know two Black men that are in a relationship that is healthy. It's always usually somebody with a person, and I'm not even gonna say a person of another race. It's usually them with a white person, just to be honest.
Yeah.
Like most of the Black men I know, and no shade to them, no shade to them,
No shade.
but most of them with white partners have kids. I've never seen two Black men with kids, you know, and maybe it's on me to do more research and look for that, to look for those examples, but it's not directly in front of my face like some of these other relationships are.
Yeah, and even with the musicians, because I was thinking, even as an artist, like who's making songs that feel positive, who's making videos that feel positive. And yeah, we have Lil Nas X and Frank and Saucy, but a lot of what they promote as far as relationship is the cat and mouse, the chasing, just the sex. Frank sells you the most toxic ass. Does Frank have like a pure love song, Mike Brown? Because I know you are the Frank Ocean expert.
I don't
it's
know.
always kind of toxic, right?
But I'm gonna be honest with you. The kids don't identify Frank as like a queer representation for them,
I
because
was about to say that. Yeah.
Yeah. I spoke on this panel at the LGBT Center out here a few years ago, and this young lady came talk to me, and she told me, she was like, man, thank you for saying you were gay, because I was the only person on the panel that identified as gay. Nobody else shared, you know, what they were, and she was like, we don't have examples. And I was like, well, Frank Ocean. And she was like, Frank never came out and explicitly said he was anything.
Right.
And like,
He
the
doesn't
kids
promote
really want to
anything.
see people that identify in the way that they do, and like explicitly say it. Like, they want to know, like, I can do this. So, you know, I'm still having my own journey as far as the word to identify as, because gay feels very white, and just when I think of the word gay, it feels very white, very perverted. I'm starting to feel same gender loving almost feels too progressive for me, but I'm working on it.
I've personally rested on queer and fluid.
I like queer.
That's where I'm at.
I like queer.
I've worked through the whole spectrum of bi, pan. I'm now just at queer. Fluid.
Yeah.
If you want to call me bisexual, that's cool too, but queer and fluid is where I feel comfortable there.
Feels comfortable.
Yeah.
Just call me Mike Brown.
There you go. And just call me Amir.
With a period at the end.
With a period.
Period.
Blue.
Period.
So I do have one final question for us. I know we've gone through the gambit of things, and I mean, we could talk forever, Mike Brown. We're gonna have to do another episode, because we haven't even really done a deep dive on like what you've got going on. We're working on a project together as well. But you know, in the spirit of just overcoming adversity and dating, coming to these places where we're getting comfortable, we're figuring out who we are, we're loving ourselves. If you can go back and give younger you one piece of advice, what would it be? Question for both of you.
I'll let our guest go first.
For me, one piece of advice that I would give my younger self is to, man, find some self-love, find some compassion for yourself, you know, be kind to yourself, and don't settle for less than what you feel like you're worth. I know that there are these norms in the community that people try to push, but if it doesn't speak to you spiritually, then don't settle for it.
That's okay. Amir?
Whew. If I could talk to younger Amir, I would definitely tell him to get out of his head and to know his worth. Those are two things I would definitely say. And just live life and stop worrying about what the fuck people have to say about you. Express yourself as you see fit, and don't feel like you have to wait. Like, live in the moment, be in the moment. That's why I would tell young Amir.
Yes.
Child, you were speaking to young me as well.
Me too. Young me said thanks. Hug me. I feel all of that. I feel like I remember being young and internalizing that idea of like someday I'll be able to be dot dot dot. And I feel like I've spent my whole life looking at a future version of me and not realizing that I had the power to be that person every step of the way. And I think that's what I would tell younger me. Don't wait. You're who you want to be right now. You know, you don't have to lose weight to be him. You don't have to move away to be him. You don't have to be a better singer or a better songwriter or whatever to be him. You're him right now in the moment. I would have definitely empowered myself in that way.
Amen.
And leave them DL niggas alone.
Leave them the fuck alone. Leave them where the fuck they're at, please.
Leave them in their trauma.
Listen, I left DL Men in 2021 when I wrote DM Disconnected. So
and that's where they will stay.
I have been flourishing since.
You know what? I left DL Men alone after I came out because it felt like I was being pulled back into the closet being around them. And I said, I've done way too much work in my life and you know what's so funny? There was a dude that I was hanging out with when I came out. And I remember when I came out, he was like, what you do that for? Nigga asked me, what you do that for? And I was like, bitch, it ain't for you. Like, I did this for myself. And he stopped talking to me, completely stopped talking to me, and tried to reach back out to me and was just like, man, at that time in my life, this, that, and that. And it was like, you know what, bro? Like, that's okay. That's okay. And I think still to this day, he's probably still trying to figure out like how to live his life. You know what I mean? And I see and know a lot of men in that space, and a lot of men that like are around our age, which is like,
it's sad,
man, you know. And I try to be a resource for them now. Like, nigga, there's no chance of nothing happening with me, but I'll be a resource to you. I'll give you some information. You know, I'll tell you my journey, tell you my experience, but that's about it.
That is it. And for me, I've always attracted them because I resonate with what you said. You felt like you attracted some of them from the podcast because you're freeing yourself, and I'm in the same way. And I would have, and I've always been upfront. I don't engage with DL men. They would lie to me. They would lie to me about being DL. Then I would find out like later on. That, and you know, that's the crazy shit I had to deal with.
Wow.
Like because I was so against it. I was like, please do not. I would have on my profiles, please do not engage with me if you are a DL, and they would lie to me. And then the shoe would drop once we start getting deeper into conversation.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's the sad part is people don't realize as with anything, if you feed it, it grows and it becomes bigger than it should be. And I think the real issue with that culture is that it is so embedded in how men court each other and how they represent themselves. So for some people, it's just fun. Like, it's just so in their mind anyway. It's just they prefer to live in the shame and the secrecy and the headless photos and, you know, all the bullshit, and they don't know any other way. So it's like, just try it a different way. Like, try it being free and see. If you don't like it, go back in the closet.
And
try it a different way.
We probably attract them, Amir, because they see us as this safe space.
Yeah.
You know, like this, you know, for me with the masculinity, it's like, oh, you know, if somebody were to find out, this is, I could just say this the homie or this the bro or some shit. Like I've had men, I swear, earlier this year, I went to a party with one of my homies, and I told him, and this is at just a regular ass bar, and I told him, I was like, man, this nigga keep looking at me. I said, I don't know what the fuck it is, but he keep looking at me. He came talk to me, randomly came talk to me, bought me a drink and everything. Mind you, this is a regular bar, and he's talking to me about wrestling and showing me pictures of him wrestling. I'm like, let me just go ahead and say I'm gay. Let me get this out the way. And I told him I was gay, and then the nigga starts talking to me about bitches and pussy and this, and I'm like, where'd that come from? You know what I'm saying?
It's crazy. I think for me, and this will probably be the most I'll share about some of my experiences, but for me, I feel that the fact that like visually, like I kind of right in the middle between masculinity and femininity. Like I'm like right in the middle. I'm pretty, you know, androgynous, you know what I mean? Depending on how I dress. And I think that's been a huge draw for DL men. And then they would fetishize my expression. You know what I mean? In the ways that they would talk to me and engage with me. It's like who the fuck are you talking to? I'm like, what? Like, you know, or like they would misgender me sometimes. I'm like, I'm not a woman. Like, if you want to go be with one, go be with one. You know what I mean?
Right.
So like I would deal with shit like that, and it would just, you know, trigger me and creep me the fuck out.
And that's what I was saying earlier. Like it becomes a cultural thing because these are people that deal with people that make that okay for them. And it's like you said, go be, if you want that, go be with that. But like over here, if I'm expressing myself openly and I'm giving you the truth, like, you know, make it a safe space. And I think one of you, I forget what one of you guys were talking about, damn disconnected off the pod. And one of you was saying just this idea of like, I think it might have been Mike, wondering why a lot of these DL men don't feel safe to just like be themselves and explore their fetishes and shit. And it's like, how do you create that world for them? But it really is up to them to just understand that like you have all the resources. There's websites for everything. There's apps for everything. Like you can safely, comfortably, and in a healthy way explore your fetishes, find people that are into what you're into, without harming somebody or bringing somebody down. Like it shouldn't have to do that.
Kind of going back to us, like how, because we've all moved out of that phase, but for people that are still in that phase, or younger people that are still figuring out that phase of their lives, what advice will we give them as far as setting that boundary for themselves? Because I see so many people that do engage with DL men and get hurt because of like, you know, a lot of times, like I have friends that have this man will at least make them feel like they are in a relationship with them, and it's not that at all.
At
you know,
all.
This nigga got a whole family,
got a whole family,
and the relationship is in the confine, in the home. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't step outside of the box. So it's like, how do we encourage our brothers to value themselves and like don't settle for that? You know what I mean? Like, don't settle for somebody that doesn't want you in the way that you want them.
That's hard because it's like, how do you teach somebody to love themselves? You know, you can give them the tools, you can give them the advice, but we've all been young men before, and we know that, you know, we can be stubborn. So it's like, it is just being a representation, I think, being able to not be the person that takes advantage of them. Like, you know, it would be a blessing, like you said, for that young person who is probably can go either way to come to one of us first and us be able to be like, hey, bro, I don't want you like that. Or like, we don't need that to interact. Let me coach you. Like, but everybody's not us. People are going to take advantage of them.
Offended.
Be offended. They be offended when you check them. I think for me, in my own journey, I had to be honest. I had to be honest with myself about what I wanted. And then I had to look at my actions. I'm like, well, if you're engaging with these type of people and you want a sustainable relationship, how is this going to get you there? And having to like really sit down and do some radical acceptance and really just sit with that shit and really ask yourself, are your actions in alignment with the type of love you're trying to manifest?
Yeah. And
you have to get that real with yourself. And a lot of people don't have that level of self-awareness, and I think that takes time. For me, it took me time. I'm glad I figured it out quick. And I think even in me engaging with DL men, it was from a space of, you know, after dealing with like a situation ending and just me just wanting to like have fun, and coming completely off track of what it was that I wanted, and then I had to remind myself, like, okay, let's get back on track with where we're actually trying to go. And I don't think a lot of people have that level of self-awareness to really reinforce that level of self-talk and have those tools.
Right. So. And that's a good point you brought up too, is getting in that space of boredom, because there is so much access to apps and clubs and bars and shit. I remember my last interaction with somebody that kind of had the qualities of a DL man, or just made me feel that sort of shame and disconnection of those kind of interactions. And it was somebody who I connected with at a time that I was bored. And it's like, well, nigga, find something else to do. And like, maybe that's a resource too. Like, and I give a lot of credit to Mike for just showing me how much the arts and the things that we do can be a way. Everything don't got to be a product to sell. Like, some of this shit really just helps you when you're bored. Like, you bored, bitch, go paint, go draw a picture, go make a beat, go for a jog. Like, I had those tools, but I didn't really get into them until the last 6 months, where I understood, like, okay, I'm out of a relationship now. I have all this extra free time. I can get into a lot of trouble and send myself 10 years backwards, or I can really invest in this next phase of my life and use these tools.
Pour into yourself. You know what I mean?
So creating spaces. So, like, I guess go back to Mike's question, like, how do we help the youth? How do we educate them? We just have to keep being amazing, keep creating spaces. Last night, me and Mike went to a craft karaoke. I'm like, what the fuck is that? But I'm like, if I had shit like that, I wouldn't have gone to Rock Bar or fucking No Parking in New York or Esco's. I would have went to craft karaoke and made a friend while we're drawing pictures or bond over a song. Like, where are more of those spaces? Where are more of Mike's talking about taking ballet classes? I never thought about taking no fucking ballet classes. My ass was on Jack being a hoe when I was 25, 26.
And you know what? Like, I'm glad you brought up like the apps, because something that I would tell my younger self is be intentional when you're on these apps, because that idle mind, like, it's definitely been parts of my journey where I'm spending 2-3 hours on the app just talking to people, scrolling, looking at the same motherfuckers that's been on there with the same picture for the last 6-7 years. And terrible, it's just like,
photos,
man.
Terrible photos at that too.
Come on, photographer.
Half these niggas don't even know how to take a good selfie.
That's
a red flag in itself.
Tarik Carroll's running a photo special if you need new Jack profile pictures.
No.
And also send him all your dick pics.
I told you, stop saying that shit. If y'all send me a fucking dick pic, y'all getting blocked faster than fucking immediately. Do not send me that shit. Absolutely fucking not. Send it to this motherfucker. Wait, where you at? You over?
I don't know. I'm here somewhere.
My camera's inverted. I don't know where the fuck I'm pointing. But send it to Yanni. Don't send that shit to me. I'm not interested. Not send me that. I'm not. No, please don't.
But to that point, the scrolling and the doom scrolling. No, we're a mess. I know. We have to be. That's one thing I would definitely say to the younger generation: be very careful where you put your energy, because we're not as dynamic as we think. Human beings are very simple. It's very easy for things to reprogram our minds. And as a grown ass man, I find I remember the energy of just being on an app scrolling, and sometimes just out of boredom. And I think me and Mike talked about this, like, sometimes the app it's so engraved in us, like, especially niggas that I've been on them shit since I was 18.
Yeah.
Pre-Instagram. Like, if Instagram got me doom scrolling, apps definitely got me doom scrolling. Yo, what up? Pick. You bust a nut. Now you don't want to hang out no more. You block a person, you unblock them. All the the weird ass cycle. And then gay people have no memory. So you've talked to a man 100 times and he don't remember who the fuck you are.
Or met up with a man and he don't know who the fuck you are.
You've been in a whole man's body and he's like, huh? I don't know you.
Yeah.
It's toxic. If you're a child watching our pod, not a child. If you are a young adult, Jesus Christ. If you're a young adult watching our pod, we're uncles. Reach out to us. You don't gotta do the wild shit.
You don't gotta do that crazy shit.
And I understand, like, we all have needs. I get it. But at the same time, just get to know the people that you connecting with. Like, don't just take on people energy just to be taking on people energy and shit. Like, those are things I wish I knew. I wish I knew that.
Absolutely.
Man, Mike Brown, thank you for being on our podcast.
Thank y'all for having me. This was really fun.
It was a good time.
I had a really good time. Amir, it was nice to meet you for the first time.
Meet you too.
We're all gonna get together when Samir's in LA, and it's gonna be it's gonna be a shit show because we're just gonna drag him everywhere. We're gonna drag him everywhere. Mike Brown, where can the people find you? What do you want to promote? Are you selling ass? Let us know.
You can find me where all Mike Browns are sold. At the Art of Letting Go podcast.com, justmikebrown.com for merch and shit like that. It's a little music out there, some guided meditations out there. I got a little bit of everything out there. Yeah, I'm here. I'm here for. I'm not selling ass, no OnlyFans, but I do have a Patreon where I do have exclusive videos of me like making beats and shit like that. And
In a
cowboy
tube
hats
top.
and shit.
Yes.
But yeah, I'm also here like just, if people need a resource, just somebody to talk to, or, I'm here.
Yes. Thank you again for being on Damn Disconnected. Thank you both for trusting me with the song and having this conversation. It's not always going to be heavy, but we have an obligation to the world to just be excellent and share our stories so that little us's can just be excellent earlier on. And we got a lot of dope shit coming up, Amir. You're going to be in LA soon. We got some live pods we're going to be filming while you're here.
Yes.
We're going to be we're working on getting some matching wigs.
Yes. Well, you're getting the wig.
Yes.
I will be getting braids.
Yes, I'm getting a mullet. I saw the mullet last night that I want, actually. Me and Mike were sitting behind this Caucasian woman with a dreaded mullet.
Oh dear God.
Yes, it was blonde and white, and it just gave she looked like a Pokemon. I want that.
I think you should get braids. You should get like a braid wig.
I just sent him one earlier today.
It was a man holding the braid wig. That's happening. We're getting matching wigs. We're going to be recording pods. Send all your dick pics to amir.stay.fly.
No, please do not send that shit to me. I will block you and I will embarrass you. Do not send a dick pic to me. I want to make that abundantly clear. Do not fucking do that shit. Absolutely fucking not. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200. Go directly to motherfucking jail. Thank you very much.
We love you all so much in the world. You two are truly my favorite fucking people. So I feel very blessed to have done this episode. And we will catch you on the next episode of Bigger Than Our Dreams.
That's what we're doing now at the end of the end now. That's the outro.
Can that be the end? Is that the end?
Choices.
Bye.
Bye, y'all.
Turn this bitch off.
All right, how do I stop this shit?
I
never know how to end this shit. Okay.